creature of mortals, bound by fate's golden strands.
THQ Nordic shadow dropped Titan Quest II on Steam in early access last week, an isometric ARPG set in mythological ancient Greece. I like shadow drops. Apex Legends was a shadow drop, I think, but in this case, emphasis here is on early access, like it's really early. That said, it's in far better shape than most early access games I can remember. But depending on what you're looking for, that might not be a good shape still. Let me explain. While the game is really fun, and for the label of early access, it's pretty robust, in terms of bugs or crashes, or FPS drops for example, I had one single bug during my time, where I had to destroy a brazier, but when I did, nothing happened. I just needed to relog. When Path of Exile 2 launched in early access, I spent 200 hours in it, and it's not like I did all there was to do even. Titan Quest 2 is not competing with that at all. I finished the game doing everything, apart from re-rolling, and it took me less than 7 hours. So if that's a deal breaker for you, I don't want to waste your time and leave this till the end of the video. But if you want to know more, I'm happy to tell you that despite this, it's sitting at very positive reviews on Steam, because apart from size, which some people say matters, everything else in the game is good and fun. So if you're still interested in knowing more, I got all the details for you. But if you still want similar games to sink hours in, you will surely find what you want at Instant Gaming. With amazing discounts on similar types of games, whether it's a pre-order or an old game with a crazy discount, gift cards or subscriptions even, Instant Gaming have you covered. With 24-hour support by humans and the hundreds of thousands of positive reviews, Instant Gaming should be your one-stop shop for anything gaming. You can use my affiliate link in this QR code to get amazing discounts and support the channel too. Not only that, you can also enter a monthly giveaway for a game of your choice by following the link in this QR code. Both links will be in the description as well. Thanks to Instant Gaming for supporting this video, and to you for supporting my channel. Now back to Titan Quest II. The game is kind of an open world, loosely saying, in the sense that there are no loading screens, or even procedurally generated maps or dungeons. The world is inspired by ancient Greek mythology, and you play as a god-touched being hunted by the goddess of retribution, Nemesis. And for what's available, it's one big map. There are dungeons here and there and layers to it, which will have loading screens obviously, but after the starting zone, which should take you like 30 minutes, you can just walk from edge to edge. That's how open it is. Funny enough, the game teases you early on, or maybe it's my fault, but it gives you what to me seemed like an obvious lead to getting a mount.
Here, wear this. My horse charm. It belongs to an old friend. It will protect you.
Turns out there are no mounts in the game, and that horse is just a chatty spirit companion, kinda like Mimir in God of War. You can't ride Mimir, I think. In terms of the theme and environment, the game looks great. The art direction in general is perfect. It's bright and colourful. It's not full of dark, bleak, muddy, badly lit dungeons. And some of the unique areas immediately look the part, and they stand out with a design that, to me at least, fits perfectly with the theme of Greek mythology. Music as well is good company. I have to admit, some beats hit like The Witcher in a way. So maybe that's why I'm biased. But music and sound design in general are a positive in this game. Next up is combat and gameplay, which to be honest are the most important aspects here. It's a classic hack and slash combat that simply works far better than you would think it would in an early access game. You can also select click to move or WASD at the start of the game. Even though it feels old school, the game still offers some good, refreshing takes on builds and skill trees. So let's talk about those. You don't pick a class in this game, you just create your character. With a little bit of progress, you will unlock a mastery, which is another word for class. Earth, which is a bit of a fire elemental mage. Rogue, Storm, which is a frost lightning mage. And Warfare, which is your warrior type. After further progress in the story, you will then unlock the second mastery. And there's no primary or secondary here. You basically can be 2 of the 4 classes. You decide what points to spend where, so you can make one of them primary or secondary. You get 2 active and 2 passive points when you level, and at certain story milestones you get divinity points. Those will allow you to invest in certain masteries by spending them here on the left, which will unlock the next row for you for more active and passive abilities. The unique thing here is that even though this screen doesn't look like the gigantic table of skill points that you see in Last Epoch or PoE, it surprisingly holds quite a bit of variety in builds. Let me show you. Here, for example, I'm a big fan of the Lightning Bolt ability, so when I invest active skill points in it, it unlocks those slots for me, where I can modify the skill to behave differently or change the damage type. The Cyclone, for example, I can change it to a Blizzard and I can make it explode when it ends, dealing even more cold damage. Now, every single active ability is like that, with so many possibilities to mix and match. Even the passive abilities have similar augmentations, but they're also passives. You also gain attribute points when you level, and that's also a bit of a unique system. You've got 4 main and 3 secondary attributes, and when you invest in the main ones, they kind of spill over to the adjacent ones. In my case, for example, I went for a full mage, so I wanted to dump all my points in knowledge, which means automatically my cunning and resolve will increase. And those attributes are both related to being a mage, and they are a requirement on some of the appropriate gear you will find. So it all fits in that sense. And you will have to carefully manage this if you're going for a more hybrid type of build. Respeccing isn't too strict as well, it just costs gold and it's not too expensive, so you can experiment all you want. The one thing you cannot do is change your masteries. Once you pick those two, that's it. The only option is another character. When it comes to progression, it's hard to judge obviously because the game is both tiny and there's currently no endgame, but for what's available, it seems satisfying. The game drops you less than what you would call a loot fountain. Big bosses obviously drop quite a bit, but the game doesn't really spam you with loot like most of the games of that type. With the usual color coding, it will be very easy for you to quickly figure out what you want to keep or dump. And it's not a nightmare for storage management. Things can change though in the future. Like I said, it's still too early to judge this aspect fully. You can spend money to increase or decrease difficulty at shrines in the main city. You can also increase the minimum level in earlier weaker zones, and you can respawn enemies too. There's currently 1 map in this early access, and throughout the whole offering you have 3 main story bosses and about 3 or 4 more optional ones. The main bosses have reasonable mechanics, the usual get out of the circle or dodge the rushing boss, or play Guitar Hero with WASD to avoid the barrage of things coming at you. Nothing groundbreaking though. There's a few side quests and activities that can take you to dungeons with some different unique designs. Which brings me to a negative aspect here actually. Most enemies in the game feel the same and feel dumb. There's no unique attacks or tough trash enemies, which makes it a bit boring till you reach the next boss. Even some of the side bosses are just a glowing dude who has more health and maybe a charge. This is probably the weakest aspect in terms of gameplay, to be honest. Now let's see what the devs told us their plans are and what to expect, so that you know if you want to invest in this game, you might want to know when is the ideal time. They simply said early access is expected to be around a year, with monthly small updates like bug fixes, and then major updates every 3 months, which should have new content and features. And with those quarterly updates, we'll be getting more masteries, more story chapters, transmog, and crafting. And the most important thing here is that the price will go up when it's fully released. It's going to be $50, which is what I mean by figuring out the ideal time. The game is currently at half price basically, which is without a doubt an insanely high price to pay for 7 hours, with little replay value. But if you feel confident that what you see is promising and they do deliver on these promises, you'll end up with a good bargain for sure. If we look at the current numbers, even though I think it's not a good deal now, those who have it are happy and don't feel that way. Maybe the good quality they see is giving them that confidence in the game's future. It's currently sitting at 85% positive reviews out of 8.5k reviews. It peaked at 27k, and after the initial drop, it seems to be going steadily actually. And according to THQ, they sold 300,000 units in the first 3 days. That all sounds pretty good for what's being offered here. I'll put the pros and cons on the screen, but my final verdict is simply buy it now if you believe in the potential, and don't if you want tons of hours of content right now. The game is simply great in most, if not all aspects. It's a fun experience for 7 hours, and personally I think it's not worth the money you will pay now. It's basically a paid demo. But if promises are kept, it's going to be a really good value for money fun game. Now what do you think? Have you played it? Do you have a different experience to what I mentioned here? I know some people have been complaining about performance. It ran flawlessly for me, and it's not like I'm running it on the most expensive computer ever. Please let me know in the comments. And if you found this review helpful, or it helped you make your decision, please remember to hit the like, subscribe, and ring the bell for more content like this. I'll see you in the next video.